Hey guys, welcome back to Make Way with the Morleys. I'm Andy and this is the final video in our France vlog series. We thought we'd do a little review. I did want Kate involved in this, but unfortunately she's busy doing work for tomorrow, which is a bit of a shame because I did want her input, but I'm afraid that comes first. So we thought we'd share with you some of the things, do a bit of a roundup of this holiday before we finish off. We feel like we've learnt so much going away to France. Not only did we spend, obviously it was the longest trip away we've done in the caravan, but also towing and driving in France was my first experience. I've driven quite a bit on the continent before and never really have been too fazed by it, but the fact of towing, you know, your pride and joy behind you was a little more nerving than maybe it had been in previous years when I've driven on the continent. I have to say it was absolutely fine. Towing in France is probably easier than it is in the UK. The roads are much quieter, as you would expect. So on to Ty Nadan, where we stayed. There is a link in the description below if you're interested and liked what you saw from the site. Now the campsite changed owners, I understand, over the winter. I don't know who the previous owners were, but they were part of the Les Castels group. They're now not. They're now owned by a group called Iris Park. Now Ty Nadan is not too far from Roscoff. It was about 2.5 hours for us towing. It's much less if you're not towing. Now there's a wide range of accommodation at Ty Nadan. It doesn't matter if you don't have a caravan or a tent. There's plenty of other options. There's mobile homes. I think there's even a place on the river that you can choose. The safari tents. There's loads of really modern mobile homes. I mean, comparing the site from last year, from when we were there, it's clear that they've obviously spent quite a bit of money on the site putting in new mobile homes, and some of them look really nice. Now I don't think it'd be a fair review if I didn't say about some of the trouble that we had. Now we booked to stay at Ty Nadan. We actually booked this year's holiday last year whilst we were there. We booked before we left. However, when we got there was a problem with our pitches, and in the run up to us arriving we'd had a few emails back and forth, and there was an issue with our booking. Now I won't go into the detail of that. However, what I will say is that the service that we received whilst we were there was excellent. They did sort out the problem, and we did, in the end, we came away happy. It was a compromise, but we came away happy, and I'll say I have been in touch with the campsite since we got back home to say thanks very much for sorting us out. We had a great holiday and we really appreciate everything that was done for us. So onto the site itself, but onto a couple of negatives. There isn't a shop on site, however it seems horrendously overpriced. Now I appreciate you have a captive audience somewhere like that, but to give you an example of what I mean, 6 bottles of water priced in the shop was over €5. Now you go to a big supermarket and you can get that same 6 bottles of water for like €1.05, something like that, and you think, you know, I don't mind paying a bit more, but that seems like it's a bit of a joke. Everything seemed to be quite expensive in the shop. So whilst it's there, it's convenient. For me, I feel it's way overpriced. There is an on-site takeaway, which is okay. The restaurant again is okay. It's nothing really for me to shout about. It was alright. We had one meal in there. It was okay. The takeaway again is fairly expensive for what you get, but hey ho, it's a quick meal if you've got nothing else, and you just want to, you know, don't want to wash up or that sort of stuff. So it's alright and it's there. The bar prices, expect to pay, how can I put it? Yeah, I would guess bar price similar to what you'd expect to pay in London. It's about €4.50 for a beer, which again is fairly steep, but you know, you got target market, I suppose. There's only one place to get ice creams, that's from the bar. You can't get them from the shop, so you have to go into the bar to get ice creams on site. I think there are 2 shower blocks on site. I didn't check them both out, obviously we only used the one. It did seem to me that the shower block that was near our pitch seemed a little small for the amount of pitches it was trying to service. There was at times there was a queue to be able to wash up. Whilst we were never not able to get in a shower or something like that, sometimes the water pressure was seemed really low at busy times. So we actually opted to shower really late or super early, just to try and negate that rush. Now I don't want all these talks of the negatives to sort of downplay how good the site actually is, because the outdoor pool facility is excellent. There's the 4 slides that you would have seen us going down. There's also another slide. There is a separate swimming pool. and there is also quite a big indoor pool with a slide as well. So if it's raining or the weather's a bit inclement like it was a couple of times for us, there's still plenty to do inside, especially if the kids want to go swimming. Now, you would have seen some of the activities that we've done. So obviously we did the horse riding, segways, high ropes. There is also a whole host of other things you can do. You're able to hire kayaks and bikes. There's rock climbing and indoor rock climbing, and then outdoor climbing. There are table tennis tables, there's tennis courts, there's badminton courts, there's a ball court, or is it a court? I'm not sure. Let us know in the comments below. There's paintball you can do. There's also kids clubs from the ages of 4 to 8 years old, and then 8 above. Up to what age I'm not quite sure, but there are kids clubs and activities for them to do there. Now, some of the evening activities, you would have seen the market that we went to and had a look round. There's also they do a foam party which Finn went to last year and had a great time. It was run again this year, but I don't think he fancied it, so he sort of came back, which wasn't good, but that's another story for another day. Now, I mentioned that the local amenities are great, and it's always astounds me when we go to France just how much choice you've got for supermarkets, especially near this place. Just a short run down the road, probably about 15-20 minutes into the biggest town, you've got the choice of 3 massive supermarkets, 2 small supermarkets. When I say massive, they are enormous. You obviously saw some of the footage of us going around one of them, that was Leclerc. There's lots of choice for us to go and do there. Also, walking around the village, there's lots of little shops, restaurants, all that sort of stuff. So if you don't want to eat in or eat at the campsite, just within a 20-minute drive, you've got plenty about to do. Now, on to some of the things we learnt. We didn't make use of our fully serviced pitch, which was ridiculous. We didn't have a hookup to the water supply. We didn't buy that additional Acarol accessory. We've got it now, but it meant that filling up with water daily was needed. Even though we weren't drinking it, we seemed to be going through loads and loads of water. You know, stuff like emptying the toilet pretty much daily did get a bit tiring by the end of it, and as bad as this sounds, I was so accustomed to emptying the damn thing, I knew exactly pretty much how much there was left to go just when you open the blade. That's when you know you've been away for a while, and you can tell how much is in your toilet cassette by just opening the blade. So in summary, we did have a fantastic holiday. We won't be going back next year to Ty Nadan. This was our 2nd year of going there, and we want to do something different. I'm not quite sure yet what we're going to do. Maybe if you want to share with us some ideas of things you'd like to see us do, maybe that would help. We're thinking possibly of Spain, maybe Austria, but I'm not sure yet. Depends on a few things really, how long we can get away for, how much it's going to cost. You know, that ferry to Santander is not cheap if we decide to do that. So we'll keep you posted perhaps of what we want to do next year for in future videos, but as yet we're not quite sure. So we'll be finishing this video with some pictures from our holiday. We've not really shared many pictures with you thus far, so we'll share some pictures with you. If you liked this series, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you have liked this series and want to get notified of our videos. Thanks ever so much for all the comments that we've had for these videos, and also for the new subscribers. We had a massive influx of subscribers. I think that's down to a certain person's influence, so thanks very much. It's great to see you here. So we got loads of bits and pieces coming up. We got some product reviews, we've also got another trip away to edit, and obviously we've got the big show at the NEC in October, which we'll be visiting. We've also got a trip away the week after that to see some friends, which I'm sure you'll see. So for now, I hope you enjoy the pictures. Thanks again for watching this series, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.
life.